ॐ भूर्भुवः स्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. Namaskar my dear friends. This is sixth video on the Upanishadic stories. The heading of this story is Uma, the Golden Goddess. At whose desire does the mind function? Who puts first the vital force into motion? This has been an eternal question. The Brahma or the transcendental spirit answers the Rishi, the seer of the Upanishad. It is neither seen by the eye nor heard by the ear, nor does the mind know it. The spirit, on the other hand, is the seer of the eye, the hearer of the ear, and the knower of the mind. It is through the power of this all pervasive spirit that everything else functions. It is beyond the reach of the senses and can only be felt like a mighty presence through intuition. It is that spirit which is the real God and not the many gods that people worship. This is the teaching of the Upanishad and has been embodied in the allegory of Uma, the goddess of spiritual wisdom. It was the question hour one evening while the sun hung in the west and the shadow chased shadow in a race to envelop the world with darkness. A rishi was sitting under a tree in his ashrama with a group of young disciples around him. Everything there was simple and chaste as behoved the dwelling of the saint known for his life of contemplation and good work. The evening prayers were just over and the youths came out with their questions. Man is by nature inquisitive. He is never satisfied by that which is apparent to him. He wants to probe into the unknown and the beyond. Is this all? Is there nothing behind the visible body and the invisible mind? Thus the questioning mind goes on and on, digging deeper into the realm of consciousness till curtain after curtain lifts and he has a vision of the ultimate reality of Brahma. At whose behest does the mind run towards its objects? Who bids first the vital powers to act? And at whose desire does the eye, the ear, and the power of speech function? This was a pretty formidable array of questions. The Rishi of the Upanishad said calmly, the power that inspires all this is one and indivisible. It is behind and beyond all that functions visibly. It hears the ear, sees the eye, and knows the mind. Neither our senses nor the mind fully grasp the reality. They all move and act through the power that pervades all existence. That fountainhead of all energy is the real God, and what people worship as so many gods are but mere reflections. He who knows and realizes this truth enjoys immortality. Here and now in this life is the opportunity to know this great truth of otherwise a great chance is lost forever. He then is so fortunate as to realize this truth that you speak of and extol. And how to know that one is in possession of this truth of truths was the next query. Well spoken, said the Rishi. Not he who says, I know, knows it. He knows little. But the humble seeker who begins by saying, I not know, knows the truth in the course of time. It gradually illumines his mind like the rising sun. When once realized, the Spirit is ever present to him through all the states of his consciousness. His soul grows from strength to strength, and his realization of the Immaculate Presence blesses him with immortal life. The sage then looked at the faces of some of his disciples and could see that they had not grasped the full significance of what he said, so he narrated an allegory to illustrate his teaching that evening. My young friends, he began, you have heard of the conflict between the gods and the demons. Once upon a time, the gods won in a certain battle. It was through the good offices of Brahma, but due to ignorance, they appropriated the credit to themselves and became proud and elated. They thought, verily, this victory is ours and this glory too. Brahma came to know of this. He thought of teaching them a lesson and of making them realize their limitations. When they were in the midst of their rejoicings, he suddenly appeared in their presence. But how could they know him, blinded as they were by egoism and by empty vanity? They saw that some wonderful being was before them, but they could not recognize it. Then they thought seriously of knowing it by some means. They deputed Agni, the Lord of Fire, also known as the Omniscient One, to investigate into the matter. Agni approached the strange being. Brahma queried, who art thou? Why, I am the famous Agni, otherwise known as the All-Knowing One. If such is your name and fame, may I know what power you possess. Well, I can burn all that is on the face of this earth and in the sky and everything that is in the seven worlds. Brahma put before him a dry blade of grass and said, Brow, mighty one, burn this blade and oblige. Agni tried with all his might to burn it up, but he could not even singe it. He felt ashamed and went back to the gods and confessed his inability to know as to who the strange being was. Vayu, the wind god, was next requested to go and find out who it was that had defied the attempts of Agni. Vayu went with a great confidence and thought that he would succeed. When he approached the Brahma, he was asked, "Who art thou?" "I am well known as the god of winds. I am also known as the god that sweeps through the vast skies. What power characterizes you?" was the next question by Brahma. "I can take away all that fills the earth by a mighty sweep," said Vayu. "Here you are." So saying, Brahma laid before him a piece of straw and asked him to blow it off. Vayu tried his best but could not move it by a hair's breadth. He too retired and informed his colleagues that it was beyond him to know the strange person. The gods then appealed to Indra, their king. "O wealthy one, see if you can comprehend this unique person that has defied two of us." Indra, the powerful lord of the gods, agreed. He approached the being, but before he could contact him, Dharma had disappeared, and in the self-same place stood a charming woman. It was Uma, the goddess of spiritual knowledge, lavishly laden with gold. Indra made bold to ask of her who was that awe-inspiring person who stood array long in the same place as you stand now. Uma said, "Know ye little minds that it was Brahma, it was he who won the victory for you, the victory over the demons. Take pride in him who won you victory." When Indra realized that it was Brahma that had appeared to them, he went to his friends and told them the truth. They all realized their folly and gloried in the knowledge of the Supreme God. Like a flash of lightning across the clouded skies, in the twinkling of an eye, the vision of Dharma illumines our consciousness. Just as the mind rushes to its favorite objects and remembers them again and again, we must run after and catch the fleeting glimpses of reality and contemplate upon them. That reality alone is really adorable in the world, for the Supreme God Brahma and the ultimate reality are the same. Rounding off, the sage said, "This is the knowledge of Brahma, the transcendental reality. Truth is the very body and the abode of Brahma. All knowledge is its limb. Penance, self-control, and good work are its support." Pleased with their guru's way of teaching and beaming with joy, the disciples dispersed to their respective resting places to reflect on what they had learned. So here ends this video, please like, comment and share the video and subscribe the channel. Thanks a lot. Namaskar, my dear friends. Namaskar.